Hey, my true crime people. Welcome to Mommy's Crime Time. This is Jenny, and this video is going to be epic. Why? Because we are going to spill the tea. And when I say spill the tea, I'm not talking about the actual tea. I'm talking about tea, as in Letitia. And all of her shady stuff that she says doesn't add up, and all of her lies and her crazy behavior. Now, first of all, I want to just go ahead and tell you guys, this video is for educational purposes. She has not been arrested. There are no charges filed against her. So these are basically just my observations and comments on what I have seen and found. Okay? So I'm not accusing her of anything other than the obvious. But as I said, educational purposes only. So let's get serious. The reason I'm doing this video is because of Gannon Stauch. Why? Because he has been missing since January 27th. Guys, this is a long time for him to be missing. He's been missing like 3 weeks. He is only 11 years old. And in my gut, I have a feeling that something has happened to him. There's no reason why we shouldn't have more information. There's no reason why they should not have found something yet. And I think the reason that this is because stepmom is holding the hell out. Now, he was first reported as a runaway because of a search on his phone, which is absolutely ridiculous. That was later changed, and he was put in as a endangered missing child, and he has been this for several weeks. Now, one of the biggest things surrounding this case are the circumstances. The last time he was seen, the last person who seen him, the hike, the carpet incident, and we're going to get into every single bit of that. So what I'm going to talk about first is who is who, so that we're all clear about the people in the case. So Gannon was living with his biological dad, Al, and his stepmother, Letitia, who goes by T. Now, his dad was away at training. He's got connections with the military. That's why they're in Colorado. Now, during this time, he was in T's care. His biological mom, Landon, she lives in South Carolina, and she does have joint custody of Landon. So on this day, he goes missing. And as I said, they first report him as, runaway, because there was a Google search on his phone where it said, can my parents track me if my phone is off? A lot of us feel like maybe this message was staged to make it look like he was, trying to run away when he didn't take his phone anyway, so it doesn't add up. It wouldn't make sense. Now, there's been a lot of speculation from Letitia about his, being spotted on cameras and things like that. Pretty much everything she has said has been 100% disproved. She was the last person to see him. She says that he came down to the basement where she was working out with headphones on. He told her that he was going to a friend's house, and she said, okay. She doesn't know what friend he was going to or any of that. She just said, oh, be back by 6 is what she said. Now, he's not spotted on any Ring cameras or anyone's surveillance footage walking to this friend's house. The weather was not that great for him to be walking away. Now, the situation around this would start with the fact that he missed school Monday. He missed school Monday because he had a stomach ache. She tells everyone she was going to take him to the doctor. This later gets changed to she was calling in medication to a nurse's line. And ultimately, there is a video that shows him leaving the home with her that morning and not returning. Now, I'm going to go over each of these things. You're going to be able to see the videos. But one of my biggest issues is the hike. The hike supposedly took place on Sunday, the 26th. They went hiking, him and the little sister and the stepmom. Then it was later changed to, oh, no, the other sister went too. You're going to see that in the slides I'm going to show you, and you're going to hear these things in the interview with Letitia where she brings her daughter on. So he supposedly went for this hike. What you're seeing now is where someone's asking her, have you found Gannon? And she's saying no, he didn't go to school. She's like, oh no, this happened after 3:30. What happened after 3:30? That's something that's kind of telling to me this happened. You know what I'm saying? We talked to him and told him he had to be home by 6. Who's we? Me and Harley? Are you and Harley? Because Dad's out of town. Or was it that he was texting Dad? Someone posted that he wasn't at school, and she's saying he had to go to the doctor. We know this is not true. We know she did not take him to the doctor. This is just one of her earlier statements from the 28th, so you can see how her story does change over time. Now, where did he say he was at? She said he was here in the afternoon. Honestly, I don't keep up with friends. Albert lets them walk around the neighborhood. Okay, so you're blaming your husband who's not there, and you let him walk away to a friend's house after he stayed out of school sick, and you didn't know where he was going. That does not add up. If your kid stays out of school, they need to be at home. You're not going to let them walk around the neighborhood. She is obviously just trying to use this as a cover. I don't like that. It's odd to me that you let him just go after he missed school, and let alone the fact that I've heard reports that it was raining, snowing, it wasn't the best weather to be walking in. So she then is already throwing blame off on her husband, saying that, well, he lets them do this. I didn't let Harley do this. What does it matter who let who do what? What matters is Gannon is missing, and this should be your priority. So she's already showing that she's trying to deflect any blame from herself onto anyone else because she does not want to accept it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say one thing that we have learned about T is that she is very, very selfish. She makes everything about herself. She doesn't seem to care that there is a larger situation at hand, that Gannon is missing, that he needs to come home. Rather than that, she's very self-absorbed, worried about herself, her well-being, her daughter's well-being, the older daughter, rather than Gannon's well-being. So what I do want to show you guys is a clip from the interview that she did with the news. And you would think, as a parent doing an interview with the news after your child or stepchild has gone missing, you would be devastated. You would be pleading for your child's return. You would not be angry, selfish. You would be, trying to defend yourself. And you definitely wouldn't be asking people for an apology, which is exactly what she does. So hold on, and I'll let you see that. As I play this video for you, after it's over, I want to talk about some things from it, but I just want you to pay attention to the way that she talks to her daughter during this interview.
Hike? That just seems like rumors right now.
You know what? Could we bring my daughter up here? Because she can go and say that, she came home from work after the hike, and she can verify that Gannon was at her home.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. If she doesn't want to, that's okay, but you're allowed to ask her. Is that an okay so far?
Yes. I need Harley. Because they want you to verify with Gannon at home after the hike. Because you didn't go to the hike, but you came home from work. Hmm?
You want me to say yes?
No, just answer the question. Yes, you came home from work, and you can verify Gannon was at home. Yeah. I told her she didn't have to be too in-depth because she is still, a child, but I want to make sure that someone knows that there's another person to verify that Gannon.
Sure.
Does she need to hold this?
No.
Yes, so I came home later that evening. I was at work, and I can verify that he was there that night.
So there was a hike that you guys went on, but then you guys came home.
Yes.
Where'd you guys go hiking?
Garden of the Gods.
Oh, yes. Okay. I guess when...
And then we ate Burger King afterwards, so,
There you go.
Yeah.
And then it just was, I'm going to go to play with my friends.
Now, I think what was very telling about that interview, or that portion of the interview, was the fact that she offered up her daughter to verify this. But I don't know if she realized that she was still mic'd, because she walks over to the car and she's like, I need Harley. And then she says, they want you to verify. They want you to say, to verify that he was there when you got off work after the hike. So she's already telling Harley exactly what to say, to a point that Harley even says, what do you want me to say? You want me to say yes? And she's like, oh, I just want you to tell him the truth, that you saw him after the hike when you got home. You know what I'm saying? So she coached her onto what to say. It's clear that she was trying to stand there and make sure that she said the right things. And I don't know if Harley's seen him really or not. I think he came home from the hike. I just think that it was like a poor choice, because it made her look really bad to coach your child on TV in front of everybody on the news when you're already under a cloud of suspicion. So I do have a lot of screenshots from other, people, from different things that have been posted. Now, this is someone say they live in the same neighborhood. I recognize your name. No one other than family has seen him since Sunday morning. He didn't go to school Monday and was allegedly allowed to walk to a friend's house. We got rain and a little snow that day. The picture of them hiking Sunday doesn't look to be current. Stepmom doesn't know what he was wearing when he left. The major crime unit is investigating now. There is even more that doesn't sound right. So immediately people in the neighborhood are already saying this doesn't sound right. The weather wasn't great. He wasn't at school. And there has been speculation over the hiking picture as to whether or not it was actually from that day or if it was an older picture. Now this person's saying, I live next door too. His mom usually tells me when something happens to their kids. I'm retired and at home all day. She didn't say anything to me yesterday. I called her this morning when I recognized his photo. So she's not even telling her neighbors that he's missing, which I find to be odd. I also just want to go ahead and point out the fact that a neighbor is actually who reported him missing after his father texts the neighbor to find out if he was at their house or if they had seen him. Now, I have heard reports that she called him in as a runaway. Don't know for sure about that, but I do know that a neighbor actually placed a call reporting him missing the night that he disappeared. Another odd, strange, weird thing we've learned about T is that she likes to use other people's Facebooks other than her own. Deborah Sue Locklear is her mom. Now, this person is questioning about the doctor appointment because they're saying, well, we had to call and all of this. And so you don't have to call first. Why, would you not be seen on base if you had standard insurance? And this is when the grandmother / T, whoever, is saying constipation doesn't require a visit. The nurse says it's okay, then they can call in a laxative. Now, this is when she's saying, oh, I took him to the doctor. He had a doctor's appointment, but then she retracts that and says, oh, no, I called the nurse's line so that I could try to get him, some medicine for his constipation. He didn't want to go to the doctor because he was embarrassed to go in and admit that he was constipated. So here is something in reference to the hike. You see, she said that this picture was taken yesterday. Some people have said that this photo does not fit. It doesn't look right. I can't say. I don't live in Colorado. I don't see these people on a daily basis, but some people have said it didn't make sense. But the man behind them did say that he saw them at the Garden of the Gods hiking that day. So, of course, I would tend to believe more if an outside person had said they were there. I'd be curious what the little girl would say, the sister. So the next thing I do want to play for you is going to be part of the audio where T proves during her interview exactly how selfish she is and how much she does not care about Gannon being missing.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
So what do we hear here? He's asking, is there anything that you would like to say to Gannon? And rather than saying, Gannon, I love you, I miss you wherever you are, please come home, I miss you, I can't live without you, it is, Gannon, why don't you come on home so that everybody can apologize to me, including my husband, for everything. This is the most selfish, shallow thing I've ever heard in my life. No one would say this in their right state of mind, especially if they were already under suspicion for doing something to the child. She's making it obvious that she doesn't care about Gannon. In this interview, she spoke about him in the past tense several times. She's already referring to him like he's gone. She called him that child. I took care of that child. She talks bad about the mom. Obviously, again, it's her deflecting blame on someone else. And then she's already having an emotional detachment from him by not referring to him as my son, or I took care of my stepson. I took care of Gannon. She's not putting any pronouns of my, my stepson. I loved him. She's like deflecting off as if he's just a random person that means nothing to her at all. And this is disturbing to me, guys. Now again, here we're going with the whole Facebook and the grandmother, T's mom, that, at first she said you took him to the doctor. That's not what you call, or that's not that you call the nurse line, which is it? And this is where she has already alluded that there were 2 hikes. This is what the grandmother says. There were 2 hikes that day. That there was one hike where Harley went with them with the dogs, and then she went home and went to work. And the second hike was just T and the kids. So this completely goes against the statements that were made by Letitia that her older daughter, Harley, was not at the hike. Now, she's saying she never took him to the doctor. She stated that in post she made on her mom Deborah's page, and this is where she says Harley was on the hike with the dogs, then went to work. There were 2 the same day. How come we never heard about the 2 hikes in one day? Is this really the grandmother talking on here, or is it Letitia? Because we know that she does use other people's Facebooks. Either way, you would think if it were true that they did, you know, one hike, Carly wasn't there, then you wouldn't have all of these conflicting things being said. This is what's leading to so much speculation in this case. No one can seem to keep their mouth shut or just tell the truth without adding extra things or tripping over lies. The lies have all originated from who? T. She's the one making up the lies, and then everyone else is getting made like an ass because they're constantly trying to defend her or make statements about what she has said that in turn make them look dumb because they're trying to say what they think is true, but it's actually BS because it's what she told them. It's a horrible situation for the family on both sides, but I don't see on Facebook much of a family presence from her side of the family towards Gannon. It's just not there. That's my opinion again, but this lady, if it is her, now she did post a picture of herself holding a fork to verify it was her, but Letitia had posted a long post on her mom's page. So this is one thing that had caused people to wonder who exactly were they talking to during these posts. So another giant thing that has come out a little more recently in this is the surveillance video from the neighbor. Now, this video has been looked at by many people. They've looked for shadows, but it is very clear to me what exactly you do and do not see on this video. I'm not doing this whole Chris Watts thing with the shadows. I still don't see the damn shadows in that one. But this is the neighbor's camera, and this is T, and she's backing the truck up into the driveway. Now she's going to back the truck up into the driveway, and if you watch, you will see her go back inside, and then you're going to see Gannon come out and get into the back of the truck. So it's clear that he left with her that day. Now, during this day, the time that they left was around 10 a.m. Now, did she tell him she was taking him to the doctor? You know, where did he think he was going? I don't know, but you can clearly see that he's going to walk out and he's going to get into the back seat of the truck. And then the next part, you're going to see the truck come back. And what you're not going to see is Gannon getting out of the truck. Now, T claims that this video is one-sided, that there is another video showing the other side of the truck, apparently from the neighbor. Okay, I don't know how in the hell this neighbor has videos of both sides of the truck, because she states that he sold this video for $5,000 to the media. They completely denied that. They said that is not true. They did not buy the video. Now you're seeing Gannon. Gannon's about to get into the truck. So clearly you see it is him and he's getting in. So this is where a lot of issues have come from. It said that his dad actually got very, very emotional when he saw this video, because at this point he realized that she was indeed lying. I mean, they had all suspected that. You know, she'd already been kicked out of the house because everyone knew she was full of crap. But this, at this point, you know, is irrefutable evidence. Okay, now she's, you know, coming back. And obviously she can't back up because, I mean, she backed in and out like 3 times, like, or, you know, kept backing in and out trying to get the truck straight. But I didn't show all of those because, I mean, hello, takes her forever. I can't back into a parking spot, so I can't say too much. But the important thing to notice is that you are not going to see anyone except T get out of the truck. So if you watch closely. I don't see shadows underneath. I don't see anybody get out. Why would Gannon get out on, you know, get in on one side, get out on the other? I mean, that's my speculation, but I don't see anyone else getting out of this truck except Letitia. She has that same white hat that she had when she got into the truck. So this evidence has been pretty damning for her. Again, she states that the cops do have the other video for the other side of the truck that the media doesn't have. Is this true? Probably not, because we all know she freaking lies like a rug. So it's disheartening to know that we possibly just seen him for the last time when he got into the truck, and where did he go during this time frame. Now, she arrived back home around like 2:19 p.m. She was gone about 4 hours. Here you see her getting out. So from about 10 in the morning to about 2:19, she's gone with Gannon, and Gannon does not return with her. Now, people question her about this. That's what you're seeing right now. Someone say, did Danny come home with you on Monday? Why can't we see him get out of the truck? And this is when she's saying, oh, they have another video. This neighbor was paid to release his. The neighbor says, no, he was not. And the media also says, no, we did not pay him for the video. BS. It's just, again, her trying to deflect and say the reason that you don't see Gannon is because he only released half the video so that he can make money off of it. Again, not taking any responsibility whatsoever. Here is another thread in reference to the video. Someone saying she did something to him and she knew she had to get him out of the house. She texts Al about the little fire as her way of smoothing over what she did. Baby boy's out there, likely, less than 20 miles away. And she tells this person, you're an idiot. They have footage of the other side of the vehicle. Believe what you want because of a neighbor who was paid to release one half. And these people are saying, do you have proof of that? Like, they did think it might be possible he got out the other side of the truck, so you have proof of it. Of course, she doesn't have proof because we all know this is bullshit, as usual with her. Just her always defending herself. She's always on Facebook. She's always wanting to argue with people rather than actually be out there trying to find Gannon, participating. Why does she think she has all these threats towards her? Because of things like this, where she talks bad to people. Doesn't it make you wonder how she talked to Gannon? So we know she leaves the house at 10 a.m. We know Gannon's with her. And you're thinking maybe she's taking him to the doctor, whatever, if you went by her story. Instead, she goes to Petco twice. And she ends up buying 3 dog coats. Okay, so your kid's sick. He's home from school. He needs medication. But you think that it's important to go to Petco and buy dog coats. He stayed in the car. I mean, this doesn't add up to me. I feel like it was a way of hiding something, a way of making an alibi by being seen in Petco. What did she do during the rest of that time? Another thing we've seen a lot from T about is where she'll say that they have footage of Gannon, that they have all of these, different camera angles, footages where they've seen him. This is where she's saying, I want to give you guys an update. I'm sorry I'll be able to write you back. We don't have any new updates today. We do know that he was at a store last night in Colorado, but the camera did not pick up the car. She talks about Albert, and she says from point A to B, it was not possible by foot according to the time of camera A and B. Therefore, he had to be in a car. We don't know with who or why, because he wasn't old enough to have friends with a car. Wasn't. She's using him in past tense again, but she's saying he's been seen on this camera. There's footage. They know it was him, whatever. She's saying an update from El Paso County. They're going to make this announcement and that they are 99% sure he was in the academy last night, according to store pictures. He didn't go to school. Again, she's claiming that she's 99% sure that he was in the academy store in Fountain, Colorado. They had him on footage. So she's putting all these updates out there. You're getting the updates from her, not from from El Paso County or the media. Is her way of distracting people, putting things out there that are false, and trying to make it look like Gannon's still out there. But here again, she's saying he was seen on several different camera footages that was sent to me, and there was a black sports car very close. Someone's asking her what time and where, and did you can you give us an accurate description of what he was wearing? Now, again, she's saying these were sent to her. Why would they not have been sent to law enforcement? Where are these images? Why haven't we heard more about this car? Why wouldn't we have been told, hey, it's the Amber Alert now. We're looking for this little boy in this car, and he was seen at this time. So again, she's talking about something else that's, completely irrelevant, that doesn't exactly go with the case, making up false things. Maybe he was seen near a black car, but I'm aware that he was not seen on the footage, which we're seeing again here. They verified and they released that statement without proof. He unfortunately was not seen on any footage anywhere. Point blank, period. One thing that we have learned is that apparently these are very, very present people on social media. They have absolutely no problem throwing everything in the world out there. So I'm assuming it's her aunt, cousin, somebody in her family, somebody in Landon's family that have gotten into some serious brawls on Facebook in reference to things that were found in the house. We know that CSI has been to the home several times. Even today, again, CSI today is again the 21st, and CSI was at the home again today. So this right here, you're seeing your sister is an effing murderer. Get your effing facts straight, and don't you ever come in my inbox trying to tell me I should be quiet. The police were at her house and found traces of blood. Convince that bitch to tell the truth so we can finally get that baby home and he can finally rest in peace. We've all been sleepless searching numerous fields in his home. Turns out she killed him. F you for trying to justify your murdering sister. I hope you all burning hell for wishing the innocent boy. And then this I guess, which is the sister of T, is you're so blind and obviously ignorant. F you and your child murdering ass sister. I mean, or this is the other one. I mean, it's a constant thing. Like, I guess this is part of the family, but it's a non-stop, like, back and forth between people on here. Now, this is the one, I'm sorry, that's related to T. My sister can sue every single one of y'all for slandering her name. Still praying for Gannon to, a safe return. So it's, I mean, there's so many more I could show y'all. There's so many vulgar things between them, but I'm not even going to get into all that. Like I said, we know that the crime lab has been there several times. Lots of the evidence has been taken out of the home. We know the DA has even been to the home. So as I said, they are being thorough with the home. I mean, they haven't really told us what they found there, but like you're seeing now, we see that they are taking a lot of stuff out. So what exactly have they taken out? We know that when you hear her statement later about the blood in the garage, is that maybe the blood that her, the sister was referring to? Was that where that was coming from, a way to justify it? But as I said, there has been a lot of presence around the home. I mean, at this point, there should be nothing left of the inside all that they've been in and out. I mean, we don't know what they found. Of course, they don't want to jeopardize the investigation, but I mean, it has been a major presence. People in the neighborhood have definitely spotted them there many, many, many times. Now, another thing about T that I definitely do not like is that in a situation where you have something like this is tragic, that's, it should unite your family, not tear you apart. Rather than that, it seems that T just wants to talk straight crap about Landon every single chance that she can get. She's not considering her own things, her own past, her own public things that are easily accessed. It's like here, when she's talking about Gannon and how he is loved and clearly the center of their lives. I want nothing more than for him to come home. Landon and I had a good relationship through taking care of them. She showed gratitude for what I did and continue to do. We all want Gannon home. So, I mean, you're seeing these posts that just contradict themselves. She talks like, her and Gannon, or her and Landon had a good relationship. And then later she starts throwing some serious shade, just like she did in that interview where she said, I took care of Gannon because mom didn't want to. Now, this is where Landon is texting her and talking about, can you please find my baby? Like, where is he? And I guess one of us can get you from the airport. And she's asking her to send her the photos of him at the store, anything that she has. T saying, oh, I'm out searching with the neighbors. We all know that's BS. T never really even searched for him. So this is her talking to Landon as Landon is trying to fly in to be there to help with the search of her son, because it's clear she did care. Now, this is where she's telling, I'm leaving at 3:30. Can we stay there? And rather than T being like, of course, oh my God, yes, just ask Albert. So he isn't upset with me about making decisions and all of this. Okay, no, I don't think it was Albert. I think it's T, because it's obvious that they ended up thinking that she was involved and kicked her out of the house. She did not want Landon around. She's a very jealous woman, so I don't see this being Albert. I see this 100% being T, not wanting Landon to stay there. And that's probably part of what caused the problem. This is major. This is when T went off on this long tangent, basically talking nothing but straight crap about Landon. She says, I'm going to go ahead and say this so y'all can delete me. No desperation here, just show how dumb people are. It is well with my soul, but I've had enough. Call it trashy, but I've had enough of the lies and threats. Most of y'all in these speculation groups are delusional. First, the neighbor sold the video for money. Then there was another one from the other side that was sent in. But they haven't released that because of these want-to-be detectives. It's a tactic to keep idiots busy while we find Gannon. You guys claim to come together, but you have brought hate in the same sentences. Gannon's mom didn't give a shit about him or his sister. She had them at motels, abusive situations, criminal scenes with her husband, did drugs. Heck, Gannon even found her iPad with her doing drugs, and we have pictures of those. Albert rescued them from guns in the back of their cars, police stops, living place to place, no home, and even had to fly on a plane from Alaska through the night to bring them back to us because she changed her school 3 times and had not place to live. She sold his toys, his Switch, and other items for drugs. So keep thinking that she cares and raising money. Gannon is still out there, and for those of you making all these speculations in some group are idiots. What about raising money? I'm sorry, I lost my spot. What about raising money for a reward and not supporting someone who is faking? I know exactly what was told to them, and they have followed those leads. Downing a person who has taken care of kids more than their mom is stupid. Know the facts. They don't involve someone hurting him. This is who you are putting on a pedestal, trying to bully someone else based on tasteless wannabe keyboard detectives. Do what Gannon would do. Realize that he needs to be home so he can be taken care of, and the ones who loved him. So this is a powerful statement. not only does she post things like this, she also decides that she wants to shame Landon by sharing pictures of her on an Ink Girls site where she's semi-nude. I mean, honestly, Landon looks great in these videos. Like, I wouldn't be ashamed of them if they were me, but this is her way of trying to paint Landon as a bad person. And she's saying that, you know, they're bad influences. You know, she does share the custody documents on here. She shares an arrest warrant for Landon's husband from 2016. She shares statements from the custody battle. All these things she puts on Facebook just to try to make them look bad. Again, to make herself like she was caring, mothering. You know, she's the victim. Her son's gone, not Landon's. She's mad because Landon is getting sympathy from people, because Landon is showing genuine, you know, fear and emotion that her son is gone, while T is just being very, very defensive. And this is not the time to divide. This is not the time to talk crap about people or make things any worse than you already have. Now, of course, people do comment and they're like trashing the mother of a missing child regardless of the past. Does nothing to make you look good. It reeks of desperation. And she's telling this person, I don't give a fuck, wake up. She isn't a mother, open your eyes. She has something to do with it. So this person's like, no one is worried about her mothering skills. Everyone is worried about bringing Gannon home. T replies, I'm not desperate for anything because I haven't done anything. So it's obvious she's always been defensive. Now she's blaming Landon. When blaming Albert didn't work, now she's going to blame Landon. And you can just see the desperation, the sadness, the hurt, the longing for her child on Landon's face. You can hear it in her interviews. It's obvious and it's genuine. She genuinely wants her son home. She talks about him in the present tense. She desires to see him again. She's asking for prayers. She's pleading with people just to call with any information at all that might help. Whereas T would rather talk about how she's been done wrong, how she's been treated unfairly, and how social media is not being fair to her, when if she would stay off of social media and quit running her mouth, she wouldn't have an issue with it. But that's impossible for her because she has to make herself the center of attention no matter what is going on, and that is so obvious by her behavior during this case. Now, since she just wants to trash Landon, maybe we should talk about her. Maybe we should talk about things that she's not honest about, or about her past, which I can assure you is very embarrassing. Rather than throwing off on Landon, if you want to do it, let's do tit for tat. We could both do that. We could both talk about, you know, what you've done wrong, what I've done wrong. So let's start out here. She says she's got a doctorate account in education. No, she doesn't. She can't even keep a job. She lost her teaching license in South Carolina. She says it's because, you know, they moved. She didn't get to finish out her contract. She also has some other issues. You can look at these records. It's pretty obvious there was an issue. She tried to say she was being harassed. So she acts like, you know, oh, I lost my, you know, my teaching because of that. It's not true. She even refers to herself here as Dr. Stauch on Instagram. She is not a doctor yet. She hasn't finished that degree, but she likes to build herself up and pretend like she's more than what she really is. So as I said, she can't keep a job. She left one job on like the second day of school or something. So she's not reliable. Now here, let's talk about embarrassing. This is her sugar daddy for me profile. She is searching for a sugar daddy. She's a 28-year-old sugar baby. She says she's divorced. Okay. Obviously, she's not, but we do know that her and Albert shared a joint Facebook account until middle of January, and then it switched over to just her Facebook account. So were they having problems? It has been, you know, mentioned in different places. Different people have mentioned they were having problems, but apparently she was looking for a sugar daddy. I mean, hey, that's totally normal. That's what everybody does, right? You're going to talk about Landon posing semi-nude looking fabulous. Meanwhile, you're looking for a sugar daddy? We know she was obviously a pretty crappy stepmom by the way that obviously it's pretty clear she mentally and emotionally abused Gannon at least. But let's talk about the fact that she was Gannon's mother's best friend, and that the family says everything she says is a lie. So T and Landon were best friends, and Albert had an affair with T while he was with Landon. People also say 6 or 7 years ago, they were playing co-ed softball on a team with me, and Letitia Stauch was on the team. Tisha set her eyes on Al from the get-go. She got him interested in her, and cheated on Landon. He cheated on Landon with Tisha. It shocked me. Al and Landon were loving parents, and I never trusted or liked Tisha. She is vengeful, starts fights, conceited. There's also other things where people have talked about how she's very controlling. She didn't want Albert to have his own Facebook account. So this kind of makes you wonder, about her changing it to her own Facebook and if they were indeed having marital problems. And so she's a doctor and she's this wonderful teacher and this great mom and great friend, but she has domestic and criminal violence charges in Horry County, South Carolina, which is near Myrtle Beach. So apparently she doesn't have the best, history in the world either. So I find it hard to believe she wants to knock on Gannon's stepdad or, Landon's husband and share his arrest warrants. But here we're looking at hers. This is where she was communicating threats. Apparently it was a bomb threat from 2001. That's real freaking mature. Who else would, call in bomb threats? You're showing that you are very immature and you're seeking attention. People that do things like that only want attention. Now, she does have another charge. This is Robeson County, North Carolina. This is where Lumberton is, Pembroke. This is where she's from. And this one is for simple assault. Now, she did use her prayer of judgment for this. That's like your first offense. You can get it dismissed. But how are you a teacher when you have all this? She's on probation. I mean, how do you have a teaching degree and you're able to teach when you have a criminal record? And this just goes to show that she can be violent, because we already have this inclination of her that we think that she hurt Gannon, but seeing that she does have a record of being violent makes it a lot more believable. It's just really heartbreaking for me that obviously she knows where Gannon is. She has to know. And we have all of these people out here. They are working constantly. Some of them haven't had a day off since this investigation started. And they are out there nonstop every single day searching for him. And she just can't seem to, give any information about him. He went missing on her watch. It's horrible. And I really hate that the community is going through this, that his family is going through this. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Recently, T released that video on her Facebook that she thought was going to make her look innocent, the one about the candle. And what that was where she said that he accidentally spilled wax, caught the carpet on fire, something with a candle the night before he went missing. So this would be on the 26th. And this was her reaction to it. And she says that she accidentally recorded this video. It was not intentional. I don't believe that. I don't buy it at all. I think she did it on purpose. To say that you accidentally recorded yourself and your child after he did something tragic or horrible, and the way she was acting after you flipped out, I feel like it was to create a story, an alibi, a cover, and that's why she released it. I do want to warn you, it is very sad, especially hearing Gannon so upset. After you watch it, we can discuss it, and I'll talk to you about what I see, what I think is wrong, and what my theory is about that.
Well, devastating. Initially, Scott, I can't lie when the TMZ information.
Gannon, I promise it's the last time I'm going to ask you. I'm just freaked out, okay? Are you sure you didn't do it on purpose?
He did it.
Okay, we promise. You promise.
On purpose.
Pinky promise.
Pinky.
Okay, alright, so, listen. We're going to have to sell stuff to fix it. Okay? So, we figure out what we got to sell. We can sell the sofa. We can sell whatever. Because we got to get it fixed so the lady don't be mad at us and kick us out of the house. Okay? You got it?
Now, obviously, that was really hard to hear. What I hear in that is that we are hearing the Kobe Bryant report on the news, so we do know that it was that day, that it was supposed to be on the 26th. What I also hear is that Gannon is extremely upset. He's extremely distraught, and it sounds like he is in pain. So my question is, if he did do it, if he did knock this candle over, catch the carpet on fire, whatever the case may be, and I have talked about this before in my other Gannon video, I feel like she did something to hurt him. Was it intentional, unintentional? She took it too far, and then she realizes that she screwed up. And so she starts recording this video, which she says was unintentional, accidental, but she never catches Gannon in it. And I don't find that to be believable, because you would think that she would have at least got like a glimpse of his arm or something, but you don't. And then she says, well, we have to sell something to fix it. Why, we can sell something like the sofa. Why would you sell the sofa? Again, I've made this point before, if something in your home is broken or you need to be, if something happened and you had to come up with the money to replace it, why would you sell your sofa? That's something that you use. That's something that you have to have. So what, you're going to replace the carpet but sit on the floor? Why wouldn't you sell something else? Like I would sell something I didn't use. I wouldn't sell my sofa. That just doesn't add up for me. I don't find it to be credible. I wonder if she hurt him and that after she hurt him, he was bleeding. Maybe he bled on the couch. Did the candle thing even really happen, or was that a cover story for something on the carpet? But it is crazy to me that she's saying we got to sell something to come up with this money, but the next day she already had the carpet being replaced. So again, I don't really buy her story that, he spilled this and it was just him upset because he did it. I think that she hurt him and that something happened, whatever it was, and that the next day he was still hurt. He had not gotten better after what she had done to him. Maybe she hit him. Maybe she caused some kind of internal bleeding or something, and she got rid of him because she didn't want to have to face Albert, child services, or the police for what she had done to him. So I really believe that she hurt him that night with this candle incident, if that is even what the incident was. But I really, really have a gut feeling that when she left with him that day, she knew where she was taking him, and she used Petco as a cover, as an alibi to have herself caught on camera. Here you see where her mom or Letitia, whoever it is, on her mom's Facebook at this point, is saying she thinks that whoever took him could have been the person fixing the carpet or someone dropping off packages. But I think that what happens is that T realizes that her releasing this video did not help her. It made her look worse. It made her look even more guilty, and it made it more evident that she did hurt Gannon. So she decided to release a statement the next day in regards to that, and in regards to other things that she said that we did not know that she wanted to reveal. So I'll read you that statement, let you see what she said. And again, it's almost as if she's making stuff up again, because I haven't heard a lot of the things that she talks about in this statement. So it says, first and foremost, I would like to thank all agencies, volunteers, and community members who are working diligently and praying endlessly to bring Gannon home safe. Thank you to my husband who has stayed strong through this and protected our family to the best of his ability. So she's thanking all these people. She's telling Gannon, come home so you can go to the Sonic movie. Your shirts, that got you for the theaters in your closet. She talks about social media being harsh, about the death threats, and that she encourages the sheriff's department to take down any of these groups that are negative. She says we've all engaged in something crazy online at some point, but Gannon would want everyone to focus on him. Why hasn't she? She's saying this hits closer to home because a lot of people have kids, and she would like to explain some details that were not released. So these details are: one, they're hitting because the department was doing its job. The efforts of social media and some individuals may hinder it, so she wants to fill in these gaps. Saturday night, G was helping me unload the garage, and he cut his foot because there was a lot of tools, because Albert does woodworking. He sat on the edge of the car. We bandaged it. He was good to go. He always loved helping in the garage. Okay, she says then she noticed he kept going to the side of the house. He told me he was checking to see if the gate was locked because he was the only one with a gate key. Made him feel proud, man of the house while Albert was away. So then she's saying she was cleared for the hike. She was cleared for the shopping. And not to think that for a second, there's not technology that would prove that she was where she said she was. She claims that they took a selfie in the driveway and sent it to Albert, and that could be looked at and it could be seen, that she was where she said she was, and she took a photo again. In the rest of the statement, she goes on to talk about how the investigators have had these details about a certain person who she believes was sent to get Gannon, that, they know about the vehicle, or like she's implying that someone came and took Gannon and that the police have known about this person since the beginning. Again, I find this hard to believe. Your first story was he walked to a friend's house. Now you're claiming that he had this key to the side gate. He must have snuck out that gate and got into a vehicle with someone who came to take him. Obviously, again, she's trying to blame somebody. I feel like this is another way of her throwing off on the biological mom, like maybe she's trying to steal him or something, because I've never heard anything or a description of a person that they have came out with and said that this is the person that Gannon is with. So I feel like this is just another way she's grasping at straws, trying to deflect, trying to say, okay, it wasn't me because I told investigators this. That way she's taking some of the spotlight off of her and trying to put it somewhere else. The problem with that is that we have all been down this road with her for 3 weeks, and we know that nothing she says is credible. We know that she makes things up. We know that she lies. We know that she is not reliable, and we know that she obviously feels guilty. What does she feel guilty for? We can't say for sure because we don't know exactly what she did to Gannon. But I think that everyone has pretty much came to an agreement that she did something to Gannon, that she caused his disappearance, and likely his death. I fully believe that after that candle incident, she hurt him, she took it too far, and then she got rid of him. I feel like people are starting to lose hope. Even today, Landon posted, not to lose hope. We do know CSI was there again today, but we know they've suspended a lot of the searches. So it's a very sad situation because there needs to be closure. T needs to step the hell up and say where he is, because we all know that she knows. Stop lying and tell the truth, because it's not fair. You can't take someone out of the world and just get away with it. There are punishments, and if you don't have to pay for it here, you will pay for it eventually. And I certainly hope that she does, because I fully believe she had something to do with it. If in fact she didn't, I'll write her damn written apology myself. But I think she did have something to do with it, and I can't shake that. This video was just made to try to prove, show, and talk about the inconsistencies that she's made that prove that she had something to do with Gannon going missing. So tonight, tomorrow, the coming days, all I ask is that you pray for Gannon. Pray for Gannon's family. Pray that he comes. I know we want him to come home alive, but I'm worried that that's not really reasonable at this point. I want to hope it is, but at this point, we just need to hope for closure of some kind. Wherever he is, if he is gone, we need to be able to lay his body to rest and give him a proper burial. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to his family who loved him. So just pray for them. Pray for his poor mom, because she is breaking my heart. Pray for the investigators that have worked so tirelessly and have not had a break because they want to bring him home. And pray that maybe Tisha will stop being this way and be honest about what really happened to Gannon and be fair to everyone in this situation. I appreciate you guys listening to Mommy's Crime Time. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Share it. And you can also find my podcast, Mommy's Crime Time, and find me on Facebook under Mommy's Crime Time. Have a great night.